Today, we're going to break down a short story about a first date, one that takes a turn you will absolutely not see coming. We're going to look at how this perfectly planned evening just completely unravels to reveal a devastating truth. And we'll see exactly how the tension builds, step by step. So let's get right into it. But first, I want you to think about this question, because it's really at the heart of the whole story. How honest should you really be on a first date? I mean, is it a performance? Are you supposed to show only your best side? Or is it a moment for total, complete vulnerability? This is the exact problem our main character is wrestling with. All right, so let's meet our guy. For him, this date is everything. He's finally landed a date with the girl of his dreams, and he is absolutely determined to make it perfect. The thing is, this need for perfection, it's not coming from a good place. It's fueled by this deep, all-consuming anxiety. His need for control is honestly like a military operation. He's not just planning a date, he's mapping out a strategy to eliminate any possibility of failure. I mean, look at this. The exact right outfit, the perfect venue, showing up a full half hour early, and even mentally scripting every single moment. It all points to a man who's terrified of spontaneity. He really believes that if he can just control every little variable, he can control the outcome. His whole mission is to pull off this flawless performance. And, of course, the script goes wrong almost immediately. She's late. You can see on the timeline, by 6:15, just 15 minutes in, his so-called threshold of calmness is already being pushed to the limit. For a person who has planned every single second, these 27 minutes must feel like an absolute eternity. And this, right here, is the very first crack in his carefully built facade. This moment just perfectly shows the war happening inside his head. Internally, he's totally frustrated. He's anxious. But on the outside, he plays the part, smoothing it over like it's no big deal. This huge gap between his reality and his performance, that's where the story's tension really starts to fire up. He's desperate for the first date not to become the last. So as the date moves along, the conversation takes a really strange turn. It feels awkward, maybe even random. But here's the thing. This is not a mistake. It is a very deliberate, if incredibly clumsy, strategy to build a bridge to the one massive truth he is hiding. And the question that kicks it all off is this one. Right in the middle of what's supposed to be a get-to-know-you, maybe romantic conversation, he asks, "Do you like cricket?" It just seems completely out of left field. And yeah, she's visibly confused. For him, though, this isn't just small talk. This is the first paving stone on a very specific path. You really have to try and understand his logic here, because he has this whole four-step strategy worked out in his mind. First, he starts with cricket. He knows it's common ground. Then he brings up a specific player, Yuvraj Singh, a national hero. From there, he pivots to the hero's very public battle with cancer. See where this is going? He isn't just rambling. He is painstakingly trying to build a conversational path, step by step, to get to his own story. Now, from her perspective, this is just bizarre. I mean, put yourself in her shoes. You've got the mood lighting, other couples around. It's a date. And this guy is going on and on about cricket. Her frustration is building, and she has absolutely no idea that these unwanted discussions are actually his desperate, fumbling attempt to share something incredibly important with her. And this, of course, leads us right to the story's climax. All of his awkward maneuvering, all of her confusion, it is all about to pay off in the most dramatic way possible. The entire context of this evening is about to flip on its head. So his mention of cancer, unexpectedly, it unlocks this deep well of empathy in her. She starts this passionate speech about the suffering of everyday patients, the ones who fight this disease without any fame or fortune, and she describes them as only a body without a soul. In this moment of just tragic irony, she has no idea that she is setting the stage perfectly for him. His response is this confusing, kind of poetic metaphor. He compares these patients to wooden flanks, like pieces of wood that were once alive but are not growing anymore. She is completely lost by his words, but this is it. This is his final, shaky step before he finally speaks the plain truth. And then he says it, the line that just shatters the entire performance. And here I am, one of them. In one instant, all the weirdness, all the anxiety, all the talk about cricket, it all snaps into focus with those 7 words. He just lays it all bare, stage 2 cancer. And his motivation is suddenly crystal clear. This whole date, this attempt to find love with her, was his own first stage, his way of building a bridge between his life and his death. That need for control we saw at the beginning, it wasn't just about the date, it was about controlling this narrative, telling her on his own terms, so he wouldn't have to carry the guilt of hiding it.
So what happens after a revelation like that? The perfect date is completely over, and in its place is just a heavy, uncertain silence. Let's dig into the aftermath, the immediate fallout from his confession. Her world has just been tilted completely on its axis. The story describes her as lifting those heavy words in her heart. She's not just hearing them, she's physically carrying their weight. I mean, just imagine being in her position. The man sitting across from her, the one whose nervous energy she probably just found a little odd, is suddenly redefined by this immense, terrifying truth. His anxiety, his bizarre conversational path, it all makes a terrible, tragic kind of sense now. Then, in this moment of just profound sadness, he lifts his coffee cup and says a single word. Cheers. It's such a simple, ordinary gesture, but right here, it is loaded with unbearable weight. What is he even toasting to? The courage it took to tell her? The brief moment of connection they almost had? Or maybe it's a deeply ironic toast to a future that will never happen. The word just hangs in the air, unanswered, completely shattering whatever fragile connection they might have been building. And this leaves us with a final, haunting question. In a world that so often values this curated perfection, especially when we're dating, what is the real price of total honesty? By revealing the most vulnerable truth about himself, did he give their potential relationship a chance to be real, or did he just guarantee that this first date will also be their last? The story doesn't give us any easy answers. It just leaves us there in that silent, shared space between them, forced to think about the impossible weight of his truth and the profound gravity of her silence.